This is our return to the Outer Banks. The wind was up to 35 miles an hour last night. It is insanely cold with the wind chill, even though the temperature says 45. Freaking crazy.
This week we set out to North Carolina's Outer Banks with one goal: explore as much sand, sea, and history as possible. Plans change quick. Weather forced us to skip Cape Lookout, but sometimes the best trips are the ones that don't go as planned. So we shifted gears and spent our time where the wild still feels untouched at Cape Hatteras and Ocracoke Island. From endless stretches of beach to hidden local spots and off-road trails, this trip turned into something even better than we expected. So here's our week at the Outer Banks. Unfiltered, unpredictable, and 100% worth it. We started our trip on a Monday, coming in through Nag's Head and bypassing Cape Lookout. We stayed overnight at the Cape Hatteras National Sea Shore, and with the high winds and cold wind chill, we actually made our way up to Kill Devil Hills, where the Wright brothers took their first flight and ultimately turned around at the Virginia border up along Highway 12. So let's start with that.
It's super windy today, but on December 17th, 1903, Wright brothers, this hill at Kill Devil Hill, they made their stops. They erected this huge monument to commemorate that. Guys, it was like this: 20 degrees, 25 plus mile an hour winds, and it's screaming.
Right here in the winds of the Outer Banks, two brothers chased an idea most thought was impossible. On December 17, 1903, Orville Wright lifted off the ground for just 12 seconds, covering 120 feet. In that moment, everything changed. The Wright brothers' first flight didn't just happen here, it started a new era of exploration. And over a century later, we are still chasing the same feeling: freedom, adventure, and the unknown. They made 4 flights that day, with the longest reaching 852 feet. Imagine holding on to a wing with some rudimentary controls and a little 4-cylinder engine, holding on for dear life, trying to control that steed for not only 852 feet, but for almost a whole minute, 59 seconds, holding on for dear life. Thanks to the Wright brothers, we can now fly and explore the stars. Yeah, so we are up at Corolla Beach, or Corolla Beach, as I was corrected in the last one, and it is high tide going out. So we'll spin you around, let you take a look, but we're actually spotting for wild horses out here. I don't know if we'll see any. Last time we did not. I'm hoping today maybe we'll catch a glimpse of some, but here we go. Definitely want to air down at North Carolina beaches because the ruts are deep and the sand is soft. It's not like Daytona. Your Honda would definitely get stuck out here. What I've always thought is really cool is this house down here in the middle. the driftwood with reflectors. Finally did it. We made it all the way to the end. North Carolina 12. It gets hairy up in here. I'll turn you around. It's single lane, and we're gonna head back because the tide is going out, but then it's gonna come right back in. So right there, keep gate closed. This is all private property, authorized vehicles only. So perfect place for us to turn around and get out of here. So the other thing is, it gets real narrow up there at the very end, and most people just turn around. There's no shame in turning around, but since we didn't do it last time, I wanted to do it this time. So it's cool to actually see, you know, kind of the North Carolina-Virginia line, at least where that preserve was. Fun day driving out on the beach. Alright guys, so we just finished airing up. We did a once over everything while the Moab was doing its thing of airing up all the tires back to 35 psi on the 40s. Found a small leak around the hub, tying that up. You're gonna have to keep an eye on the diff cover where I took and did my first diff fluid change. A little bit wet there. I'm also getting a little bit of a noise on the right side, so gonna have to check all the bushings and continue to listen. I shook everything, nothing really was rattling, but every once in a while I'd hear a little pop when we were basically going back and forth seesawing. Nothing seems loose, but once again, just keep an eye on it, check everything, and then anytime you go off-road, always a good idea, give it a once over. Having the Moab, set it, forget it, go do your, you know, look over everything is great. So I think Morflate and also Thor's Lightning have their own auto air systems, so having a 4-tire system is great. So they do have free air if you're using a tire gauge or some quick air deflators like I had my last trip, and then my air compressor gave out before I got the Moab. They do have free air here, but if you're running a 37 or 40, you really should invest in your own air compressor at some point. With that being said, we're going to move on down the line, go check out more of the Outer Banks. Thanks for watching. So for the remainder of the day, we just kind of explored Cape Hatteras. Headed back down the National Sea Shore. Down in Nags Head, we did grab dinner at a place called Sam and Omi's. It was recommended to us by a local who worked as a volunteer at the campground we were staying at. Prices seemed pretty reasonable. They seemed friendly. Very local place. Locals hang out at the bar. It was founded basically by a couple that enjoyed fishing there at the pier. And so right there in downtown Nags Head, right as you get on the island, there's Sam and Omi's, nice little restaurant. I would highly recommend it. Good seafood, good breakfast. Our refrigerator was full of meats and vegetables and things to cook during the trip. However, we actually found that the high winds was not very conducive to cooking on the camp stove. And so that's one of the main reasons we actually ended up eating out a lot more than we anticipated. But check the weather before you come out to the Outer Banks because it can always change. And for the most part, a place like the Outer Banks is so unique. You know, supporting small local businesses, I have no problem doing that. All right, guys. Another day down. Let's see what tomorrow brings. Hey guys, we just loaded up on the ferry. Good thing is we're right up front, so it should be a fun ride. And this is only about the third or fourth time. This is Rampage's first time taking the ferry, and we're off. This is awesome. Really pretty out there. Alright guys, so we're taking the ferry from Hatteras over to Ocracoke, and should be a good time. We got called the UPS truck, actually got a front row spot here, so always fun to be out here on the water. Wind's not too bad today. The weather's a big improvement over the last 2 days, and so today's basically a perfect day to go down there. Cool being out here on the ferry. I love taking the ferry. Was going to do Cape Lookout, but the winds were just too high. I called that one off. We were going to start off Cape Lookout, work our way north. This time we're going kind of like we did our last trip, just stick around Hatteras and Ocracoke. But tell me in the comments below. Some people say it's Hatteras, some people say Hatteras, some people say Ocracoke. I butcher the words, apologies, but hey, we're out here exploring, and we appreciate you guys for leaving a comment. Although we had a great ferry ride down to Ocracoke, our ride back got a little bit spicy. But we did arrive, and first thing we checked out were the pony pens, and then we headed over to the campground to find a good site, and then we hit the beach. So let's start with that. Next to the campground is a really neat bird. It's called a wandering ibis. In the coming days, we saw this one and a couple of his friends hanging outside the campground. Extremely important. On top of having a park pass, you need to take the time to air down. This time, we're using our Thor's Lightning air hose kit. We've done reviews on this and automatic tire deflators. I like the 4 air hose system. It really only takes about 3 minutes to go from 35 down to about 20 psi. And we still got a little bit longer to go. So right now, as you can see, all 4 tires we're sending about 28.5. So we got about 8 pounds to take out, and then we'll be down to required 20. Typically 18 or 20 on the Gladiator is a good number for sand driving and beach driving. But thanks for sticking around, and we're gonna go enjoy the beach. Alright guys, so we've been on the beach here for like 5 minutes, but I want to show you the potential of what you can find. And these are broken, they're not really worth keeping. I mean, pretty colors, and then, you know, good size shells. This is cool. You can't drive down here on this part of the beach, but that definitely looks like part of an old ship, like a sidewall or something. After finding this wreck and doing some digging around online, I came across an article on the coastalreview.org. They basically think that this is a wreck of the Numis, which was pilfered for lumber back in 1935. It was actually a lumber ship, and it was a combination between sail and engine power. So this is something neat. This ship was actually built back in 1919 in Pensacola, Florida, and it sailed in the early 1900s. So pretty cool find. Look at all the nails and metal sticking up. That's really cool. The interesting thing about North Carolina is Blackbeard scuttled the Queen Anne's Revenge just off the coast, and he was captured. There he said that the Virginians tricked him. They came down from Virginia, they tricked Blackbeard, and they ended up decapitating him. And legend says that his body swam around the boat 3 times. As far as folklore goes, but as you can see, those look like the remains of a boat to an untrained eye like myself. But it is absolutely beautiful out here. Ran into the no motor vehicles past this sign. Wanted to take a look at that. Very cool. Just out looking at shells, and we found some pretty good ones. Unfortunately, this one here's got a crack in it. But every time the tide goes down, more shells are revealed. We made it all the way to the bottom of Ocracoke. Got Project Rampage here. It's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of ups and downs. It's almost like you're driving on the moon, but it's absolutely beautiful here. Got the sun setting behind me, and then we're gonna make our way back and find some more adventures to get into. Set up camp tonight here at the Ocracoke campground and have a great time. Loving Rampage. We got the Allen Motorworks lights. If you want to save 20%, go down in the description. We also have the Corolla awning, which will hopefully be able to open up here at camp if it's not too windy. We're not really hanging out at the beach much today. It's a little bit chilly still, but for the most part, saving 10% on your Corolla awning. I love the awning. It's got all the lights and everything else, as well as over at Outland Motorworks. Huge supporter of the channel with the lights, the controllers, anything you need to see and shine light on your path at night. The beach is open 24/7. I don't know if we'll do a night drive or not. More adventures to come.
Hey kid, don't ever let them get inside your head. They'll tell you what to do in life instead of everything you know that you could get. Don't let them guide your life towards regret. I'll fight for what I love with every breath. My past is filled with things I won't forget. I use them all to push me to my best. So treat the worst of times just like a test. If only I could go back in time, I'd tell myself that everything will end up alright. Just push yourself, test yourself, figure out what you like, and find your limits, don't be rigid, always work towards a prime. Surround yourself with open minds, people can change your life. A few friends with intent can help you feel alive. Find a passion, take some action, and with a little time, just be patient, make a statement, try to enjoy your life. They'll try to kick you while you're down. They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing, won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
Alright guys, so we're airing up the tires. Pulled off over here. Got the Moab going. As you can see, it goes pretty quick. Got a couple of caps I gotta replace. So here's the Rhino USA kit, and I think this is the same kit we left on the fender on our white Jeep, but I love the Clayton lift along with the Curry axles. Done great, you know, just having that reliability back there.
and the suspension just rides super smooth. So very happy with Project Rampage. Definitely gonna have to do more adventures.
They wanna rise up while you drown. They wanna fill your head with doubt. They're silently scared that you'll figure it out. I'll make it look like I'm losing. Won't bother hiding my bruises. And when they finally think you're wounded, then it's your chance to be ruthless.
I'm gonna go stick this stuff in the back. Come back here. Everything has its space, even though it doesn't look like the most organized hot mess. That goes in there. Air hose goes back here on top. Some gloves for dealing with the brake nastiness. Throw those in here. Throw these extra gloves in here. Get the Inca bag down out of the way. Put this down. Make sure everything's nice and neat, and it'll settle down once it all gets in there. Give it a nice shove to lock it. Awesome. Locked. Just make sure it's locked. Also, don't wear your Sunday jeans. They get a little dirty. Alright guys, so we're gonna go eat and we'll go to camp. Have a great time and see you when I see you.
Alright guys, I am going to show you how amazing this view is. Welcome to Ocracoke Island. Doesn't get any better than that. That's pretty dang near perfect.
After such a beautiful sunrise, we headed over the dunes to the beach. I took my cinematic camera with me and the telephoto lens, and we captured a lot of birds and even some dolphins out swimming. A lot of birds I haven't seen before, but after that, we headed into town to check out some of the historic sites. Hope you guys enjoy. Alright guys, so we decided to stick around here at Ocracoke, and one of the places to see down here is actually this British cemetery. So we're going to go check it out really quick. So, destroyed by a German submarine in 1942, the U-558. And send memory to them. So the way they've got it is they actually sold this piece of land to the British government. And there's 2 unknown sailors, and they were able to identify the other 2. If you like old cemeteries, they have all kinds of cemeteries here, small family plots. So if you like old cemeteries like that one there, literally made of wood, 1913, 1856. Other thing is, we're here to check out I Love Pirates, and Blackbeard, who used to kidnap drunken sailors down in Savannah, would come up here and raid British ships coming out of Virginia, and they actually caught him here. He scuttled the Queen Anne's Revenge here in North Carolina, and then here at Ocracoke is where they hatched a plot and caught him. So we're gonna go check out some other lesser known places here at Ocracoke. Guys, everybody loves lighthouses here at Ocracoke Island. They have their own lighthouse. According to the sign back there, this is where the lightkeepers would stay. So this is the old lightkeeper house, and as you can see, trying to preserve history, they've got that thing jacked up at least 6 to 10 feet in the air now, so hopefully they won't have any more issues with flooding in the keeper's quarters. Looks like they've salvaged a lot of the brick too, keep it as reminiscent of the original building as possible. One of the volunteers at the site told me that someone would have to walk up these stairs every single day. There was a big drum for oil, typically whale oil, used back in early days. They would have to shuttle that all the way to the top of the tower, and then later it was converted over to generator power. After a quick visit of the lighthouse, we headed over to Springer's Point, which is only a short little walk. But Springer's Point was a favorite spot and hangout of Edward Teach, infamous pirate, commonly known as Blackbeard. Guys, we are at Springer's Point, and this is what was once hailed one of Blackbeard's favorite hangouts. I don't blame him. These trees are awesome. I mean, it's beautiful out here. Not only that, you know, dense vegetation, and you could easily be under the trees, look out to the ocean, and see what is coming. Blackbeard used this exact area as a base of operations, a lookout point to spot incoming ships, and a hideout where he could disappear into the Sounds and Barrier Islands after raids. From Springer's Point, he could strike fast, loot ships, and vanish into the maze of inlets. He also hosted large parties and gatherings with other notorious captains like Charles Vane, Calico Jack Rackham, and Israel Hands. Think bonfires on the beach, stolen livestock roasting, and rum flowing for days. As you can see here, really this breaks the wake. You have like this eddy calm water over here. The water is absolutely clear. I would say you could go snorkeling in this water. Could you imagine 1700s pirate? It's like a wood forest. The ship could be protected here in the harbor or over where the town is. Sail out, capture British gold, Spanish treasure, spices, rum. Because remember, a lot of pirates were privateers, mercenaries, and knew no other way to make a means other than a life at sea. So sitting here reflecting, you know, growing up, reading tales of pirates, exploring the Carolina coast, Georgia, Savannah, the Caribbean, all the way around the world to the Indies, China, Middle East, and Africa. World travelers. And to think that, you know, somebody as infamous as Blackbeard very well could have been sitting right here at Springer's Point, hanging back, drinking a bottle of rum, thinking, what should we do next? Pretty cool. If you think back, like, the British Empire was a very powerful, organized, strong military, strong maritime. Them and Spain were constantly fighting each other. And 1776, America fought for its independence and freedom. And you kind of have a little bit of sympathy for those that chose piracy. The freedom to not be enslaved or indentured. Travel the world. Sail where they wanted to go. I guess kind of like soldiers. They all do it for their separate reasons. Some do it because of an oath, because of their word. Some did it for treasure and gold. Some just did it for the glory. To me, it's pretty interesting. You can tell a huge difference between being out there on the beach in the wind, just being inside these trees. There's zero breeze, absolutely quiet. So according to the sign, Blackbeard was captured, had his final battle here near Ocracoke Island, had his last stand, taken prisoner because he was such a wretch and so infamous. The British decapitated him, and they say his body swam around the ship 7 times. But oh, it was a pirate's life for me. After Springer's Point, we headed back out to the beach to drive around and do some more shelling. We found some awesome shells while we were out at Ocracoke and drove around until the sun set. For our final day, we got up, we did some beach driving, went to a few little shops around town. I would highly encourage you to go out and check out some of the gift shops. It's not all made in China. A lot of it was actual local crafts. I picked up a couple of pirate mugs, but we also ended up back at our favorite restaurant on the island. If you want to know where the best seafood is at Ocracoke, it's right here, Jason's. We ate here the first night, and the shrimp was some of the best I think I've ever had. We tried the place across the street. It was good, but it wasn't great. So definitely like this place. On this trip, we dedicated more time down at Ocracoke Island, and it was truly worth it. You still get a feeling of the wildness and the fight for survival and how special this place really is. Out here, a ferry's ride away from anything and away from the mainland. Beautiful sunsets, awesome wildlife, and I think that we were truly blessed, and I see why this place gets packed during the summer. But in the off season, I would definitely consider taking a trip to Ocracoke. After watching that amazing sunset, we watched the birds flocking after the school of fish, dive bombing the water, and it was one of the rare sights that I have ever experienced and truly made it worth the trip out here to the Barrier Islands. Ocracoke Island. The ferry guys, we got 36-mile-an-hour winds again, kind of like the other night, gusts up to 36, rough waters, and so they're playing it safe, keeping everybody in the vehicle this time. But most of the time you can get out and go take pictures like we did on the way over. But to me, you know, we're just trying to get back safely, and you know, the skipper's in charge, and if he says go, go. If they say halt and they're not going, then they don't go. It's actually only about half full. It's us, a bus, and probably 3 or 4 vehicles out back. But I'll show you guys the water. So lots of whitecaps out here on the Sound. But incredibly smooth, actually. The tread can get a little bit rough. I think turbulence in an airplane is rough. Maybe 1 to 2 foot swells. And good thing is we are kind of centered, so. Alright guys, we are back at Cape Hatteras. Hey guys, we've had an awesome time here at the Outer Banks. As you can see behind us, the lighthouse is under construction. We did get to go into one down at Ocracoke. We went all the way to the Virginia border and all the way south to Ocracoke. We skipped over going to Cape Lookout for the simple fact of the wind, and there's no protection because you're camping right out there on the beach. That is still on the to-do list, and eventually we will get out there to Cape Lookout. It's also one of the premier destinations for Outer Banks trips. A lot of overlanders love it because you get to camp right out on the beach. We were packed up ready to go. Last minute change of plans because the wind speeds were up to 36 to 40 miles per hour with gusts, and so we pushed through. When we first got here it was 36. Hardly any protection up here at Cape Hatteras. When we got down to Ocracoke, the campground there does have some vegetation, and we were able to camp out a couple extra nights there. For the most part, it's been, you know, wind chill of 27 to 30 to 40 degrees most these days, and then that ferry ride on the way back, it was a little bit spicy, but we had an awesome time overall. Thanks so much for watching. If you would, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button, ring the bell so you get the notifications, and keep coming back for more. Once again, I get to share my dream with you, but the true purpose of this channel is to help inform, motivate, and inspire you guys to get out there and start building your dreams.